What is a hosting server? Hosting server is basically a computer that has your code base. So when you start a business, you buy a domain and your domain is connected to a server that can be located anywhere in the world. But if you are serving your audience from London, UK, then you would ideally want to have your server in London. That way it loads extremely fast. But if you are serving in London, you don't want to host your project or your server in India. But if you are hosting or your audience is from India or subcontinent, that you would ideally like to have your server in the India or probably Singapore. That way it loads faster to those users. So what is a server? Server is basically a computer that is actually turned on for 24/7 every day. It's never being turned off by anyone or anybody else. So when you type a domain and click on the browser, that domain actually loads a server. That server has your code base. So your code base, where your software developer basically coded what will look, how it will look, it loads through a domain to a web browser to the person who is browsing it. So you can buy or purchase hosting from any hosting provider company in the world. The number one famous company in the world is called AWS, Amazon Web Server. Then there is Google, they have their hosting services. Then there are tons of free others. Then there is DigitalOcean, HostGator, Namecheap. I can name 100. There are tons of hosting providers. So all those hosting providers, they have data warehouses and they have server warehouses where they basically locate a physical computer, they keep a computer and they let you host your project on that server in exchange of a fee every month or every year. You can rent it, you cannot totally purchase it. But if you want, you can have your own server at your own home as well. That is possible and a lot of the people do that as well. So this is how typically a server works on. So if I do summary, when you buy a domain, you are basically buying an address. So that address points to a server. Server name is typically 21.22.95.63, this kind of digits. So that domain actually points to those digits or those servers, and those servers actually have your code base that your web developer actually deployed. So hosting servers is pretty easy to buy. You can go anywhere, you can go to the DigitalOcean right now or AWS right now and buy according to your need. The hosting capacity actually depends on how many users you are going to get, how much the code base requires the RAM or the processor to run the project. These kind of things actually determine the need for the server. So I hope this video clears the concept of server, hosting, and how a domain works. Thank you so much for watching. I am creating these knowledge videos for you. So if you want to watch more, click on the hashtag Mosharaf Shares. Thank you so much for watching.